Good afternoon and welcome to AQS Guild Buzz with Bonnie. And we bring this program to you every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And our program is sponsored by Janome America. Our guest today is Theresa Ierardi from the Quilting Guilds of the Villages. Now, I know this is a huge, big group, so tell us about your group.
Our group, the history of our group is quilting came to the villages in 1993, and a group of ladies got together, created a quilting club, and members joined, people joined, it grew, it grew, it grew. And in 2003, they formed the Quilting Guild of the Villages. So at that point in time, we grew, and each time a club branched off, because we don't own our space where we have our meetings, we are at the recreation centers throughout the villages. Once you got to a certain level and couldn't fit any more people in a room, we expanded to another recreation center. We are in 24 recreation centers we're in 24 chapters within several different recreation centers in the villages.
Tell me how many people actually live in the villages, because it's a whole big city all to itself, isn't it?
In the villages, there are approximately 150,000 villagers. And we have 1,129 guild members at present time. We held off on our membership enrollment because of the COVID-19 and not being able to meet. So probably come the fall, we expect an influx of members because people have been asking. So we are all over the villages from north to south, east to west, and growing.
Now that's a really pretty quilt hanging behind you, Theresa. Tell us about that quilt.
This quilt here is our Raffle quilt for our Showcase 2021 in January. And it was made by one of our chapters, the Fenny Socialites chapter. They got together, picked the design, picked the pattern, and had it made, cut as a group, and put it together. And that will be raffled off and drawn at our Showcase 2021. The proceeds from the drawing will go to the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranches in Florida, and also to Haven of Lake and Sumter County, which is a organization that helps abused domestic women, children, or sexual assault victims. So it's the funds go to both worthy causes.
All right, now some other projects that you do a couple projects that involve veterans, and I'm sure you have a lot of veterans down in your community, don't you?
Oh, we have a lot of veterans here. And the Honor Flight one, this is our Honor Flight quilt, or one of several. We do about 100 quilts a year for Honor Flight, 2 missions, one in the spring, one in the fall. And each veteran gets to choose a quilt before they leave and gets to pick that quilt up and take it home with them once they return. And that's roughly in a 24-hour period. They go up to visit the monuments in Washington, D.C.
That's great. That's a wonderful program. I know they do that out of Paducah as well. All right, and then you also do some quilts for a hospice for veterans.
Yes, this is a quilt. They give us a patch for it that goes in the center, and these are smaller. These are 36 by 36, and we use the patch, and it's Cornerstone Hospice Salutes Veterans. And they're an organization that goes to our local area hospice centers, and every veteran or any veteran who there's a service done at the time that the quilt is given, and if the service person doesn't or the veteran doesn't survive, it goes to their family, and the ceremony is done at the veteran's home.
What a great program. I've not heard of that kind of a program for the veterans, but that's a wonderful one.
We do about 300 to 400 quilts of Cornerstone each year. So okay. Unfortunately, it's because we're losing our veterans, but it is a worthy cause, worthy quilt to make.
Well, let's take just a minute and let's have a word from our sponsor, Janome America.
I'm Adam Eddy from EddyCrest, and I'm the designer of the EddyCrest Janome exclusive cabinet. This sewing cabinet stands out from every other on the market because it's made out of real wood. So start your next sewing project knowing you can work comfortably in an organized space with the EddyCrest Janome exclusive cabinet.
Welcome back. Now, one of the things that Janome is doing for our Guild Buzz with Bonnie program is they are giving away an HD9 professional Janome sewing machine, and at the end of our program, I'll give you the website so that you can go in and sign up for that. We appreciate our sponsors for all of the programs that we do, and so we want to thank Janome for providing that sewing machine. Now, I'm going to give you a number, Theresa, and I want you to tell me what this means. 56,849. What does that mean to your guild?
That means we made 56,849 face masks since March 17th. And we are still making face masks. It's an outstanding, wonderful number. The face masks have gone throughout the country. They have even left the country. And the greatest number, other than giving to our local area doctors, hospitals, whoever requested one, whoever needed one, we created a accountability for the villages, families, friends, neighbors, and I add on strangers, because where did you get your face mask? I need a face mask. We coordinated with a local dry cleaners in the area. They were doing a food drive. If you brought in a food donation, we gave you 2 masks for free. So it really worked out to be very well, but we have face mask fatigue, but we're still making them.
Yes, and you know, I saw a statement on Facebook, and I'm just going to read this to you because I thought it was so appropriate. It said, "I became a mask maker because your life is worth my time." And I think every quilter who's been sewing these masks certainly feels that way, don't we?
I absolutely agree with you.
Yes, we do. Well, since the virus, what have you been doing to stay in touch with your members?
Majority of the chapters have been meeting by either email, sending emails once or twice a week. We did discover Zoom. We have been Zooming quite a bit. It's hard to get everybody on, and especially those that are not technically savvy, but we've helped them along, and we have Zoom meetings. Some of them were creative, and they met outside at the picnic areas and maintained their social distance. And even though it was warm out, they were in the shade and they could have a meeting that way. So the membership hasn't met as a whole. This month of June, we were able to go back into our rooms, with certain minimal numbers. July coming up, we were told we can have more people meeting, and we will have our first guild meeting in July 7th. So we'll be able to see more faces over face masks because they are going to be required. But at least we'll be able to meet in person and get information back and forth.
Well, and I think we're all ready to get back and see one another. It certainly has been interesting to me to see how different guilds have distributed materials for their face masks, and they've done everything from setting up tables in parking lots, one to drop off and the other one to pick up supplies. I've heard of them doing porch pickups where people leave some of the stuff on their porches so somebody can just stop and pick it up. We are resourceful, aren't we?
Absolutely, and we've done many porch pickups, and in front of the recreation centers where we weren't allowed to go into, that was a drop off and a pickup station.
Yes, well, where there's a will, there is a way with we quilters. So to register for the free sewing machine, if you will go to quiltweek.com/guildbuzz, Guild Buzz, and make that all one word, Guild Buzz. There will be a form there for you to register for the free sewing machine. You also will see that we have a short survey. If you pop in there, we'd like for you to take that survey. We always like to have responses from the quilters. And we also have some other things that you can do as a guild, some different ideas, from Quilts of Valor to making fidget quilts for Alzheimer's patients, for making pillowcases, and a pattern of video on how to make those. So if you're looking for some more ideas, you'll find a few of those things on that same page, and that's quiltweek.com/guildbuzz. And if somebody was in your area, and after we get through this virus to where you can meet again, how would they contact your guild to find out information about the various meetings?
The various meetings, we would recommend going to our website. It's qgotv.org. It's the first letter of Quilting Guild of the Villages. And there's a tab there for the chapters. They could find information about the chapters, when they meet, where they meet, with contact telephone numbers, or they could go directly from the website to contact us and tell them, you know, where you are, what you're interested in. You know, if you're a quilter, not a quilter, and want to join, then we can respond to that email directly.
I bet your numbers swell quite a bit during the wintertime down there, don't they?
Yes, they do. We have a lot of snowbirds. I'm going to say probably about 40 to 45% of our guild are snowbirds. A lot of them do still participate with what we do, but some of them have guilds where they're out of town. We call them out of town because they're out of the area. They join their guilds in their area where they're staying.
One of the things I want to talk about before we leave today is, you know, that we have had to cancel all of the rest of our shows for 2020. And so that is Lancaster at the Nook, the Paducah show that we had rescheduled for September, Grand Rapids, and Charleston. So we've really only gotten to do the one show that we did with you all down there in Florida at Daytona Beach in February. But we still planned just like that we were going to hold those shows. So we purchased t-shirts. This is the Lancaster shirt, and the button and the pin, and the tote bag. Those are available at shopaqs.com. And then for Paducah, we have the show pin and the button, but we also have the catalog of show quilts that we always do for our Paducah shows. And it's available both in book form and in a DVD. And that too is available at shopaqs.com. And this is the tote bag you all are going to want. This looks like a beach bag, does it not? And it's got an extra pocket here on the front. It's got a zippered pocket on the back. It's got an inside zippered pocket and a zipper across the top. That would be perfect for Florida, wouldn't it, Theresa?
Absolutely, bring it with you.
And so these are all available at shopaqs.com, and they're all there waiting for you to make your purchases. So I hope that you'll stop in and see us. Do you know, we always like to share a quilt hanging behind me when we do these programs, and today's quilt is called Add Fireworks, and it was made by Denise Russell of Draper, Utah. And some of the quilts that we show, sometimes they're quilts from the magazine, sometimes they're quilts that might be in a future edition of the quilt engagement calendar that Claudine Hansen does. So watch for this quilt. I believe it was also on the cover of the magazine, the current issue of the magazine. Well, as we stay busy, you see I wore my 4th of July shirt here today. We want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, and we want you all to stay safe. You know, my mask protects you, and your mask protects me, and so we want to put a stop to this virus as soon as we can.
I agree with you totally. Thank you, Bonnie.
Well, thank you, Theresa, and the Quilting Guilds of the Villages. And we'll probably see you again in Daytona when we have our show in 2021.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
And we'll see you right back here next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time. See you then.